Welcome along to the Big Idea Show today with Jason Delplanque de la Rue.
That's good.
Yep. Are we near enough?
It was fun.
Yeah, okay. Right, go on, tell them your proper name.
It's Jason Delplanque.
Delplanque.
Yeah.
I was kind of there. A few extra syllables.
Yeah, you threw a few more in there, which is fun. I just wanted to see how long you could go for.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, we are talking about Improv Gym within
Yes.
the theme of confidence
Yeah.
and motivation.
Yeah.
So we'll be back after these quick titles. So we're back. Jason, welcome along.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you for standing in last minute.
You're so very welcome. That's what I love about Folkestone. It's so easy to get around.
Exactly. And everyone's up for doing stuff, right?
Yeah.
Really good
Great
fun.
bunch. Yeah.
So we have a live audience here today. Say hello, live audience.
Hey, whoa.
There we go. We're going to be talking about, I'm particularly interested in this idea of improv and how it kind of goes completely against what most people are confident to do. And we're not confident about normally because we don't know what's coming up, and
Yes.
improv properly puts you in that space.
Yes.
But before we do any of that, I want to ask you
Yes.
some quick fire questions,
Sure.
and then I want to hear a bit more about improv.
Okay.
So, first question. If you were a boxer, what would your walk-on song be to really pump you up?
Well, my walk-on song be? It's got to be The Final Countdown by Europe. Has to be. Yeah. And I'd have a silver cape.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm going to add that as a question. What are you gonna do? Okay. Question 2. What is confidence?
What is confidence? I think confidence is experience. I think it's something that you gain from doing something over and over again. I don't believe people have got sort of a natural ability for confidence. I believe people have got courage to know what the situation is and to try doing what it is. But I think confidence just comes from just being around like-minded people and just doing something over and over again. I think it's a hazy thing for me, confidence, because I talk about building confidence, but that's through practice and time. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Right, question 2. What is
Yes.
motivation?
What is motivation? Wanting to do something. So I'm motivated. I'm hungry. I'm going to go buy a pie.
I like it. Okay.
That's motivation.
We'll
yeah.
have that one.
Yeah.
Okay. What is your Dutch courage of choice?
Oh, it has to be a Macallan whiskey.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is. Is it a South African thing?
No, it's not. It's a single malt whiskey from
Okay.
Scotland. Yeah,
Okay.
not China.
Okay. What is, if you were to tweet your mantra to life, what would it be?
My mantra to life.
Or in this precise moment?
Just say yes as many times as you can, because sometimes it'll be the right decision.
Sometimes. Okay,
Yeah.
I like it. What's your lucky number?
Oh, 4.
Okay. Oh, snap. 4. Yeah. 3 4s.
Black 17, but for another reason.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. What's the worst thing that someone could say to try and motivate you?
The worst thing that someone could say to demotivate me?
Or that would demotivate you, but they'd be trying to motivate you?
There's no beer at the end of this.
Okay. We're getting a good sense of this. Can you describe tell us a single moment where you felt the most motivated or confident in your life?
Single moment where I felt the most. Do you know what? This is a strange one. It's in one of my high school yearbooks. I know that sounds really weird, but bear with me. A teacher wrote a very short piece of prose, which was addressed, I believe, directly to me about just believing in myself. And that was sort of when I just sort of started out in high school, and I was actually quite reserved. Funny enough, I was quite nervous to do any sort of drama or theatre. And when I read this, it really inspired me because I felt like someone else believed in me, and that was a big thing. Besides having your parents who really believe in you, it's something that you just get used to.
Yeah.
But if it comes from a teacher, from someone that you respect, it gave me quite a push, and then it sort of just went from there. Just got involved in as many sort of drama things as I could at school.
Nice.
Yeah.
To the point where you're here on the Big Idea Show. That's what it's all about.
I've never said that to anyone.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks. Okay, almost there. What is something you're currently doing that you'd like to be more motivated for?
Looking for more work.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what's something you'd like the confidence to do that you're not currently?
Like the confidence to do that I'm not currently doing. Wow, that's a tough one.
So are you doing everything that you currently would like to do?
No, I'm not. But I'm just trying to think what I would like the confidence to do more of. Oh, that one's really stumped me.
I think even my quickfire questions are a bit deep and break people's minds a little bit, don't they? So,
but it is great. I suppose I'd like to cook more of a varied vegetarian diet for my wife.
There we go.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. Now I've committed to it, haven't I?
No, it's on video.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thank you. That was our 10 quickfire questions.
Yeah.
We'll get rid of those.
Done.
Right, let's get on to the discussions, shall we? So, the bit I'm really interested in terms of improv, is kind of how improv can give you that confidence and the ability to be so confident in such unknown and on stage.
Right.
And so that's, I guess, the general context of what I'm interested in. But what's your story? Let's hear about, very briefly, how you got into improv and kind of what were the key points, do you think, that kind of had you change it? Like you said the story of, you know, you were maybe a bit more reserved as a kid.
Yeah.
Was that through improv specifically, or was it through drama in general?
I think it was through drama in general, because what happens, or what has happened, is when I've learned lines before, I've learned them in a very in a very sort of parrot way. So I know what they are, but I don't know what the meaning behind them is. And then I also hated having to do too much homework. So it was always sort of last minute cram learning of lines. And I think I really struggled with the rigidity of it. Not to say that I don't love theatre and I don't love film. I really do. But I felt like I was always sort of limited to what we had actually rehearsed. Even though people say, oh, it's some things just happen in the moment. There's still blocking and things that you need to follow. And I didn't know what that thing was. I didn't know what that making it up thing was. So years and years and years went by. And then I did a bit of corporate work with a friend of mine. I explained to him what it is I want to do, and I said, oh, there's this company in Brighton who run these courses. You should get in touch with them. And from the very minute I walked into an improv class and started doing it, I went, that's it. That's what I wanted to do for a long time. And then I was just hungry for, right, give me the formats, give me the blueprints. How do you do this kind of thing? And then it's just course after course after course and show after show until I've actually got to this point. But I still don't know everything. I still have no clue what I'm doing.
But that's the point, isn't it?
Yeah, that's exactly the point. It's funny, like the amount of courses and the amount of time that's been dedicated to it. The one thing that I've come up with after all of that is listening. So it's the simplest thing. It's the one thing that I tell people, that's pretty much the only thing you need to know. It's just to be able to listen and respond authentically in the moment. And it's getting people to that point. Yeah,
absolutely.
And there's a lot of misdirection along the way. You've got to sell things to people and then get them to do something that you want them to do and realize, oh, look, you've just improvised without them knowing that they did it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so that's like the whole thing of listening is a huge thing generally. How has that, or has it kind of seeped into your everyday life when you're not on stage or you're not doing a workshop, this idea and some of the techniques and tools that you've learned in improv?
It's learning to stop, which I have to constantly remind myself of, to stop and to listen to what somebody is saying right through to the very end before I actually respond to something, because there's a little bit at the end that you might have missed and you might have actually missed the point. And something that I still struggle with today, and this is true, is saying yes to things. So people go, oh, cool, do you want to meet on this day, or do you want to meet later on this afternoon? And go, oh, no, can I? Can I? And do I have the time? And yes, I probably do. So it's having plans but being flexible to change them.
Okay. Yeah.
But the biggest thing I would say is just being able to stop and listen to people more. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's still something I'm working on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With that, so you mentioned the kind of blocking, and I know very, very basic literature of improv.
Yeah.
But for those people out there who don't, what are some of the basic rules of improv that you think are relevant to life? Like you said, saying yes, kind of blocking, and how that works in that scenario.
Yeah.
That people, like you said, you try and apply in real life, and that other people could benefit from applying.
The basics would be to say yes, but that doesn't necessarily mean to say yes to what the person is offering you. It's being able to say yes in the context. So I'd like to have a discussion with you about this work thing. Saying yes to that. You might not agree with everything that the person is saying, but you're saying yes to actually have a dialogue with somebody. That's a really, really big thing. It's saying and to something as well, which is the big thing we live by, is going yes and, which is accept and build. Yeah. So accept what is going on and then add something to it. So don't just go, oh yeah, that's a brilliant idea. See if you can add something on top of to that idea. We might not use everything, but at least we've thrown everything onto the table. We've exhausted all possibilities, and now we can sort of cherry pick about what it is that we want from there. And the big thing also that I've learned, the massive thing that I've learned, is improvisation is a team sport. So we need myself and one other person on stage, or myself and 20 other people, in order to create something. We want somebody opposite us. We want somebody there that we can talk to and that we can bounce ideas off of it. They might not like what we're saying, but at least they're there. So that's it. Yeah, listening, teamwork.
Okay.
Yeah.
And are these the sort of things, is it something that you do kind of in terms of taking this out? You said about, you need a team and people. Yeah. I assume it's something that completely applies to a work business scenario, isn't it? And do many businesses do this sort of thing? Yes,
it's happened a lot over the last, I'd say, even 10 years. Improv is something that's been going for a long time. There's a lot of sort of debate about who started it and where it started. And a lot of it sort of stems from North America, and there are theatres over there that have been going for over 30 years doing this kind of thing. But it's slowly seeped its way into corporate culture, because I think the thing is, what happens is a lot of the time people are bored of classroom learning and struggle with it. And then what we do is we bring in how to listen to people better, but how to make conversations better. Yeah. And everything starts from there. Everything starts from a conversation. If you're able to have a conversation with someone, you're then on the road to resolving any issues that you've got, or coming up with new ideas. So we help people to have better conversations. We help people to listen to each other. We help people to make their meetings a lot more effective, rather than just having a meeting for the sake of meeting. And I think the big thing is exactly sort of referencing what I said earlier, is making that person the most important thing. So what that person across me is saying or doing, really valuing that and trying my best to make them look good. It's not going to happen all the time, but if we have this idea of trying to do it most of the time and then analysing afterwards, we've got a better chance of succeeding. Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. It sounds, hugely universal stuff, just from something that I think people think of, it's just, it's fun, it's comedy, but it's life stuff as well.
I mean, when we're having a conversation, we're improvising. I've got no idea what you're going to say, and you've got no idea what I'm going to say, and I have to stop and listen, and then I have to add to that. Yeah. And then also I'll find a connection in what you're saying. You'll say something that I'll go, oh yes, that reminds me of something, or it makes me think of this, or it makes me feel this way. Yeah. So we help people to tap into all of those things, and most importantly, to say, hey, it's okay. You're allowed to be like that. You're allowed to be yourself in this moment. Yeah. So we push for this whole idea of authenticity. And it's a hard thing to get to, because people feel like when they go into a class, they feel like they have to perform. Yeah. And of course, yes, we are performing. We want adulation and applause. But we want to tap into some authenticity, because that's where the good stuff is. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I love that word, authenticity.
Yeah.
It's a good one. Yeah. Okay. And final question.
Yes.
is around, so we've talked a lot about conversations, but I want to take it back to kind of this word, our starting point of confidence.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the time, well, if I speak from experience, I will feel confident if I know the person or I know the sort of conversation, I'm used to the sort of conversation, etc., etc. What about the conversations in our head and the confidence of that? And is there any what would your advice to people be, or what is something that maybe you look to do yourself in terms of that, having that confidence for the unknown of what's going on up there in our heads?
That's a really, really, really good question. We actually do an exercise, improvisers, and I'm sure theatre practitioners across the world do this thing called voice in the head. And we actually have two people playing a scene, but we have one person behind them being their voice in the head.
Amazing.
So telling them how they feel about that person, or telling them to do things to that person, that obviously is acceptable. But yeah, we have a voice in the head. We have this little thing that gnaws at us that will say, oh, you're no good at this, or you're really struggling at this, or maybe you shouldn't say that. And it's there the whole time. And it becomes amplified when we're performing. So if we're public speaking, doing theatre, and especially if we're doing improv, because someone's saying, right, make something up. So then you always start judging and going, oh, was that funny? That wasn't, I shouldn't say that, shouldn't do that. So what we say is, or what I say is acknowledge it, that it's there, because you're not gonna switch it off.
Yeah.
There's no way of doing that, because that's who you are. It's just in you. But if you acknowledge it and go, hey, cool, you're there, great. Oh, today you're a little bit louder than normal. Great, okay, fine. So maybe I'll hold back a little bit. And then just acknowledge that it's there. And just accept that that's actually a part of you. And I think the more that you do that, the more comfortable you'll get with that voice. And it might sometimes get quieter. And when it does get quieter, then enjoy those moments even more. And when it does get louder, don't put yourself in a situation that you don't want to be in. You know, when we run our classes, we say, we want you to take as much out of this as you want. So what you put in is what you're going to get out. And sometimes if that voice is really loud, then maybe the thing to do is to take that step forward into the unknown and see what comes out of that, because that's when the magic happens. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Jason, I love it. I've been to one of your classes and I did love it.
Yay.
I'm going to have to come back.
Yay.
Definitely going to have to come back. Okay. We have final words, and then
Yes.
any last thing you'd like to say? And then I'd like to hear how people can find out more about what you do, where they can go if they want to give improv a try.
Improv is for anybody. You don't have to be a poet. You don't have to be a musician, a performer, an orator. It's for absolutely anybody. So if you want to try it out and you want to maybe find out something a little bit more about yourself, something that's new, give it a go. Because we wanted to make it as accessible as possible for everybody else. It's given me a passion for life that I've been able to put my finger on and go, yeah, I can do that. It's helped me make friends for life. And I also moved to Folkestone about 18 months. No, less, just over a year ago. And by having improv behind me, I've been able to make new friends and meet other people. So it's really, really given me a lot of joy and given me I don't know, friendships. You know,
Nice.
makes you feel part of somewhere if you've got this thing to offer, and to also know that you're offering something to someone that they can use. Rather than you going, oh, I know this thing, and you know, it's I know more than you do. You know, that's not what we want to do. What we want to do is go, hey, I want to share everything with you so that we can have fun together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Like it. Okay, and final links for more information.
Links.
Improv Gym.
Facebook.com/Improv Gym.
Yep.
Twitter is also Improv Gym. And then any other information is on the Folkestone Quarterhouse website. And that's where we teach our classes. And we also have a show. Can I plug the show?
Plug the show.
We have a show on the 17th of July, Tuesday the 17th of July at the Folkestone Quarterhouse. Check out Facebook for more info. And it is pay what you decide.
Hey.
So if you think we're funny, yay. If you don't think we're funny, even better, pay more.
Jason, thank you so much. It's been
You're
great.
welcome. Thanks for having me.
Bye.
Bye.